This episode, we spend a shit ton of money on STS Garage with an upgrade I've been wanting to do for a bloody long time. Righto, so we're going to have a really good look around my new tool cabinet, and if anyone's got a shed at home or a garage or a place they work in, the tool cabinet is, I don't know, it's the pinnacle of the shed, and I haven't had one. The whole time I've been in this shed working, I've had just such a cheap, shitty little version of a tool chest. So it's been coming for a long time. Rewind the clock about 12 months, and we really did renovate STS Garage. Pulled a heap of all the old benches out, installed the hoist, of course, painted the floor. We even repitched the roof so we could get the hoist to fit in. And this has been something I've been procrastinating about ever since then, or even before then, was a decent tool cabinet. And of course, the tools that are inside it. Now, having a YouTube channel, there's definitely some sponsorships that we do have with G-Works Trays and Canopies, all 4x4 spares and CONQUEROR campers, and some smaller ones that are, just come in for the odd episode. But the tool chest was such a personal choice that I've gone out and just purchased my own. I really couldn't decide on something. I wanted the freedom of just being able to purchase my own and not being tied to anything. And the fact that I had most of the tools to start with in varying degrees, I wanted to be able to customize what exactly I was buying, and all those reasons combined led to me not doing anything for about 2 years. It's really been a long decision, and let's introduce what I did buy. Believe it or not, I actually think it's really good value, and that's why I ended up buying it. It's certainly not the cheapest brand on the market. It's certainly not a cheap product by any means. Just to be quite clear, there's no sponsorship in this video. However, now that I have bought it, Milwaukee, if you're listening, and I reckon I'm really pissing in the wind here, I'll be happy to take a Milwaukee sponsorship because it is a beautiful product. That's probably never going to happen. But let's have a look at this Milwaukee cabinet. I think they're quite new to market. They don't have a full range of mechanics tools yet. You do notice that with some long flat spanners I was after. But anyway, we'll go through and look exactly why I bought this cabinet, what came with it, what I added to it. Yeah, just have a look at the next big upgrade for STS Garage, and it just means we can do bigger and better projects. So one of the contributing factors to getting the Milwaukee brand is because I have so many Milwaukee 18 volt tools. And I know that's not completely relevant with the tool chest, but this tool chest did come with some battery tools. And any mechanic set now really is reliant on impact wrenches and 12 volt soldering irons and things like that. So the 12 volt and 18 volt hand tools or power tools now are quite relevant to the tool chest that you end up buying. So that was definitely a determining factor. I just never thought Milwaukee would be in my price bracket for something like this, even make something like this. Like I said, I think they're quite new to market, the tool chest. So that is certainly a determining factor in how I come to this decision. The other really noticeable thing is the quality. The quality of this tool cabinet is better than anything I have ever seen. And I've been really looking for a couple of years. So I don't know how many drawers I've opened and closed in the local hardware store. And this thing just seems to be better quality. Even with all the tools emptied out of this cabinet, it was a 4-man lift to get it off the ute. And then of course the mandatory few beers afterwards, that's a given. So just the quality and the thickness of steel that is inside this thing is just better than I've seen before. So I mentioned at the start, there's no sponsorship in this. I walked into the local tool store. I think it was $39.40. I said, what's your best price? They said $38.95, which you can't even buy a bloody carton of beer with $55 anymore, so that's pretty lousy. $55? $45, I don't know. I did add a 12 volt soldering iron and a set of flat, long, double ring spanners, which I'll show you in a minute, bringing the total to about $4,100. Now, it is a fair bit of money, and it's just something that you only really want to do once. That's what I was really trying to do, is spend the right amount of money, not get the cheapest thing, not spend 10 or 15,000 on something you don't really need, but spending the right amount of money for me and not having to do this again down the track is what I think I have achieved with buying this one. Right, so we can certainly talk about how it looks, because let's be honest, you're spending $4,000, it's got to look good, and it's obviously finished in the Ferrari red or dog dick red, Milwaukee, however you want to look at it. It comes with a power outlet on the side, USBs, and it plugs in at the rear. I'll get you some B-roll there so you can see that. Has a little shelf here. I have no idea what that's for, but I'll figure that out and I will use it. There's a grab handle here to wheel it around. Even with it fully loaded now, it rolls around, no dramas. Massive caster wheels that are lockable. I wouldn't mind swiveling caster wheels both ends, because I might eventually cut a bit of the bench out and push it in situ and put a little bit of bench on top to match my bench over there, but that's a little bit further down the track. Comes with rubber matting on the top, little finishing touches like that. That is a great surface to work on. Bumper rails around the edges. It does come with key to lock all the drawers, which funnily enough, when I picked it up from the tool shop, to bring it home, I had to put ratchet straps around it because they didn't have the correct key. So they get me the correct key. What else have we got? It's a right big steel box really, but it's how it functions and the quality of it and what's inside it that really counts. So let's have a look at that. Righto, so we'll go through the drawers that were full of tools that come with the kit for $4,100, so you can get a feel for, you know, what actually come with it for the money we spent. So the first drawer here, we have your basic hand tools, hammer, hacksaw, side cutters, pry bars, a really decent pick set, and it's those kind of tools that I bought it for. I mean, the scissors, to a degree a hammer, and obviously a tape measure. I've already got those things, so it's very hard not to double up when you're buying a tool chest like this, and there wasn't too much of it, so that was another reason that attracted me to this one. It did come with a 1/2-inch drive, 12 volt impact or rattle gun. So that adds a fair bit of value to the kit, and yeah, two 12 volt batteries, and as I said earlier, we added the 12 volt soldering iron. I should have bought one of these a long time ago. It's been a long time coming to get that. Down to the next drawer that come with it, full socket set. Now what I really like about this socket set is it's only 1/4-inch drive and 3/8 drive. Already had a 1/2-inch drive set, so that works perfectly for what I had. 3/8 seems to be the professional mechanic's choice, so that means if I start using 3/8, I'm just going to be more professional. Well, it sounds good anyway. I doubt that'll work, but we're going to use 3/8 from here on in. It's just a bit nicer in the hand. It's that little bit smaller. And we still have our 1/2-inch impact set for our 1/2-inch 12 volt rattle gun. We do have a set of spanners, so I've doubled up a bit there, and it's rolling away. Just shows how easily it rolls. And yeah, I'm not sponsored by Milwaukee. I just really love the bloody thing. It's been a lot of years procrastinating about this, so it's just a nice kit, right? Pliers, wire strippers I didn't have, filter tool I didn't have, definitely had a couple of the other pliers, shifters. You can never have too many shifters, right? Precision screwdriver set in hex, Phillips head and flathead. I definitely needed. I had a pretty shitty old set and a decent set of screwdrivers, because all my screwdrivers have been hit with a hammer at one stage or another in their life, so they're getting pretty sad too. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the tools that come with the tool chest, and you're like, yeah, there's not a lot in there for $4 grand, right? But the big thing is, when I've been looking at this for the last 2 years, there is a lot of money in the cabinet itself. The cabinets are extremely expensive. So the fact that I believe that this cabinet is the best quality I've seen is probably what made me spend the money. The 1/4-inch, the 3/8 drive socket set I really did need, because even my 1/2-inch is getting pretty tired. And a couple of spanners and inclusions are really what I bought it for. So now we'll go through and I'll show you how I've used the rest of the drawers and combined the tools I have to make a complete toolkit. Righto, the top drawer is really where all the magic happens. It's all those little bits and knickknacks, punches, a bit set, your verniers, wire stripper, like just so many of the little things that you want on hand all the time It's a really shallow drawer, so it's all laid out nice and flat. You can actually see what you've got. We'll go down the side here. All my shitty old screwdrivers. Eventually, I probably will starting to get rid of some of this stuff. A lot of it is just dead set garbage and has been abused for many, many years. But it's very hard to throw tools away. We'll work down this side. So like I said, I had a 1/2-inch socket set. And look, it's not super flash, but it works. And there's no point buying something twice. So that worked really well. I already had a set of ratcheting spinners that are of decent quality. Didn't buy them. That works really well. Set of flare nut spinners I already had, so didn't buy them either. And the flat double-ended ring spinner, awesome for tail shaft bolts. That's all I really know what they're good for. I just know I struggle with tail shaft bolts, not rounding them off and getting enough tension on them to tighten them. They are worth buying. They're only a cheap Daytona set. Like I said, Milwaukee don't actually make these. I think they're still early on with the mechanics or hand tools, that is. So then I have a heap of old sockets, and you just can't throw sockets away. I might need to make something one day, weld to the end of the socket, grind the socket down to get it into a weird location. So we're going to keep all them, your Toyota filter tools, and any odd tools like that. To get those strange tools in a massive kit, you're probably spending $10,000 to $15,000, and you end up with so many things you don't need. So again, that suits me. Heaps of old spinners. We recently just upgraded our vice grip range in the shed. Awesome for welding jobs and welding panels, clamping panels together. It was a cheap set. I've got about 20 vice grips. You can't have enough of those. I think it was about $100 for those vice grips. Really good value. So over the spinners, there's some shit in there, like just shit. But if I need to make a special tool or cut something, I'm not frightened to do it with those. Bottom drawer here is massively empty. We do have the charger that come with the kit in here. Rib nut tool, love a good rib nut. And the mandatory safety glasses. But we all know STS Garage is not very safe. Down the left-hand side, the remaining drawers that didn't have any Milwaukee tools in them, I have used for my electrical equipment. Just through inputs, Anderson plugs, fuse holders, any lugs. I do need to buy a fair bit of stuff again. I haven't done a lot of electrical for the last 12 months, so everything's been ratted and there's just bits and bobs everywhere. So I've cleaned a lot of that out, thrown a lot of it in the bin, and that's not going back in. Get in there. Could be just that little bit deeper, that drawer, for what I'm using it for. And the very bottom drawer is all the wiring that you just can't throw away. Cabling's so expensive to buy. Heat shrink, and any bits and bobs, like things that are still in the packet. That is such a big handy drawer to rummage around in to find what you need. Well, there we have it. That's the next big upgrade for STS Garage. I hope it just helps you guys make maybe the right decision. It's not necessarily about spending $4 grand, $1 grand, or 10 grand. It's making a decision that's right for you. Now, I really love it so much that I think down the track I'll look to buy another one of these, but empty with no tools in it, depending on what that price is. I honestly think the tool cabinet's going to be about $3,000 empty, so they are quite expensive. But to just be able to organise the rest of the shed into drawers and into something that's going to last, and then you get a working surface on top of it as well. I try and do things once, do it right, and do it, right for yourself. Everyone's a little bit different. This is right for me, and I think I made the right choice. Megan was a little bit set back onto the price of it, but you're always better off to ask for forgiveness than permission. Otherwise, you never get anything, right? So don't forget, guys, head over to smarttouringsystems.com.au. We've got heaps and heaps of merch at the moment. A couple of new designs. It has been really humbling to see those shirts going out the door. And that's probably it. Let's wrap it up there. Don't forget, you only live once. Get out the shed, get into that project, or head to the tool store to buy a $10 part and come out with a $4,000 toolbox like I did. Cheers, guys.